Welcome to the recipe. I am your host, The Red Knight, and this is an Xbox podcast, the podcast that covers everything in the world of Nintendo and Xbox. And today, this podcast is going to be heavily focused on Xbox because of the Xbox Developer Direct. So we're going to jump right into it with the main topic being basically a rundown. Whoops, sorry, I didn't know that. Basically, a rundown of everything that went down on the actual show. And I want to, well, not everything. I'm going to focus on the three games that I'm really interested in playing. If you want to see everything, that went down, the focus being on everything, go watch my live reaction. You can find that right now on Patreon, on the YouTube channel. Yeah, make sure you like this. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. If you enjoy this, please do. And now let's kick this thing off talking Indiana Jones. We're going to talk, as much as we can today about Indiana Jones, about Avowed, about Hellblade, and then we're going to talk about Nintendo Sweep in Japan, in 2023 later on. So yeah, there will be a little bit of Nintendo in here. Yeah. So Indiana Jones, let's start here. Are you seeing this? Because this game looks mighty, mighty fine, gorgeous, beautiful, stunning, I might say, right? God damn, this game looks good. And to think that this game is canon, it's part of the actual series. So when you play this, you can watch the previous movies, and then play this one, and then watch the next entry, and it'll all flow seamlessly. Hopefully that'll be the case. But yeah, here we are. Indiana Jones is revealed. This is a game that everybody probably was assuming was gonna come out next year. Probably shown at the showcase this year, and instead we got it shown off in January, and it's coming out in 2024, which is awesome. And I got so much to say about it, because just saying that the game looks good, look at that face, look at Harrison Ford face. The voice also isn't Harrison Ford, which I think I was like, yo, that's Harrison Ford. I thought it was so good. I was like, it's crazy because it sounds like young Harrison Ford, and it's Troy Baker, the legendary video game actor. And I saw, they were throwing some hate towards his way now, and obviously we know why that is, not because of anything other than fanboy nonsense. But we'll get into all the fanboy stuff later when it comes to Indiana Jones. Right now, I want to talk. You see that lighting on the eyes? You saw that lighting on the eyes? My goodness, this game visually just looks great. And I'm assuming this is ID Tech, because this is what they always use, right? And this is obviously the legendary developer behind the legendary series, Wolfenstein. They've been dealing with a legendary IP for a long time, and now they got even more loved and cherished IP in Indiana Jones. And the best part is that the reaction to this, right? To this trailer, as the cinematic thing that it is, was basically, it was basically, yay. It's the Indiana Jones movie we've always wanted. That's what it looks like. And that's awesome. It's awesome to see that that's the reaction that this game has been getting. You got a cool looking villain here. I'm going to stand by. Candyman is not all bad. It's just miscommunication. Let's just say that. But anyway, yeah, like this game being that what it is, the actual entry in the Indiana Jones series that looks really good, and what people want from Indiana Jones more so than the last two movies. This game has grabbed the attention of the casual audience already. That audience that bought Hogwarts Legacy. They already saw this game and they're like, yo, this looks insane. It looks great. It looks beautiful. So much detail to everything, like these puzzles in the world, the third person to first person. Oh man, we're going to talk about that. It's just really grabbing people, and I said that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? That's what Xbox need more of, because right now a lot of people are also having that thing they're going to get over. They're going to get over that really quick, because it's going to become real normal. It happened already with Starfield. You know what I'm saying? This is going to become more normal. It'll happen with Hellblade. It'll happen with Avowed, with obviously Indiana Jones, and then in the future with Perfect Dark, when that looks incredible, it'll happen with that. If Microsoft decides to go, hey, listen, Doom, that's going to be exclusive too, then it's gonna happen with that. You know, they teased in this actual show Quake 6, which we've all felt like we knew it was gonna happen sooner rather than later. But it's good that it's been teased. Now we know it's official. It's happening. So you could just add that to the list of games that are cooking right now. You know, over at ID alongside the lead Doom Year Zero. But like when you got games like Doom, when you got games like Elder Scrolls, you know what I'm saying? And these games are just gonna be coming exclusive. People gonna get used to that real quick. And there's more than that because I feel like the next perfect example of the game you got to mention when it comes to that, it's like get Indiana Jones. You see that get comfortable, but then it's gonna listen. This year, people get caught up. You got to understand with the advertising, the partnerships on ads. So a lot of people would assume Hogwarts. Oh, that's a PlayStation exclusive. Avatar, that's a PlayStation exclusive. Because every ad you see for it is boom, and you see you know, the PlayStation logo, and then you see the game. And right now, that's currently happening with Prince of Persia. All the ads I see on YouTube is you get the, and then you get the trailer. You get that Switch. So right now, it's like Nintendo got dibs on that, which is awesome. You know, Metroidvania and Nintendo, they go hand in hand. But when this year you got Avowed doing that, right? But even before that, in May, you're gonna have Hellblade doing that, and then you're gonna have Star Wars Outlaws doing that. Like Hellblade is gonna be exclusive, but then Outlaws is gonna be available on everything. But the fact that you're gonna have that, first thing you're gonna see is a boom, Xbox, logo, and then the game. Yeah, that's gonna do something. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna cause something, and then you're gonna see Indiana Jones, and it's gonna do the same thing. Xbox logo first, and that one's gonna actually be exclusive. So, what do you think is gonna happen with that? Snowball. I feel like this is gonna be a year where they probably sell more Xboxes than any of the years in this generation. I know people say that's crazy, but I would say, is it though? The lineup, all, as a well-rounded lineup, you add everything that's coming this year, and I'm talking about everything. Things that are timed exclusives, like Stalker, like 33 Immortals, like Replace. You throw all that stuff that's coming, like right now, that Palworld, like all of that. That just adds conversation, and it's like, yeah, what's Palworld being played on right now? What is being played on Xbox and Steam? Flip that, really, Steam and Xbox. That's really the order right now, and I'm gonna talk more about that later. But the point is, they are doing exactly what they need to be doing in order to sell consoles. And it's funny because people come out with all these rumors at the beginning of the year, and people just believe rumors at the beginning of the year when they ain't got nothing to talk about. There wasn't no news until this show right here. When it comes to Nintendo, it's dry. We waiting for the Super Nintendo Switch to be announced. Other than that, we already know what's coming. They already lined it up the beginning of the year. All the way till March 21st with Peach. Probably a little bit beyond that. And like Peach is the new thing. Other than that, we waiting. So Xbox was the one that drops the show, but of course they're gonna talk about Xbox because we already know this. Like this is what I said. Like, what world are people living in? The most talked about video game company, factually, is Xbox. It's been like that already for a few years. I'm not making that up. Google tells you that. Most search, most everything. All the articles written about what game last year, Starfield, the most of. Why? Because they knew, good or bad, they're gonna get the most click because Xbox fans right now are the ones who are engaging the most with them. So that's what they do. They create these narratives, and of course they're gonna make a narrative of, oh yeah, third party is third party. When it's already been going on, I already covered the third party shit. I ain't going over that rumor nonsense no more. I just want to make the point that people believe that shit, and then they get all up in their feels, all up in their emotions, and then not know how to act. And I'd be like, yo, what are you doing? Why are you falling for all of this nonsense? Where's your proof? So far, we just had a whole Xbox show. Where's your proof? Where's the press release? Anything? There's nothing. You just going off the word of mouth of who? Of what? Huh? Nah. Not doing that. And then Xbox puts on this show a bunch of games, and now everybody's port begging for these games. And let me be clear, not everybody. Nintendo fans aren't sitting there port begging. Because smart Nintendo fans either got a Series S or they got an Xbox. Series X. You know what I'm saying? Or they got a PC. They good. They could manage to dip their hands in whatever. But they good on their Nintendo side. They chilling. Well, not right now. Some of them are acting a fool because of this whole Palworld game, which, again, I'm going to talk about that later. But, yeah, for the most part, ain't nobody Nobody crying about, oh, yo, port this to the Switch, port this to the Super Nintendo Switch. None of that. None of that. Even with stuff like the rumors that were actually out there, like, yeah, if it come. Man, we ain't bent out of shape for these games. We don't care like that. You know what I'm saying? And I just go, I look at what's actually going on, and I see a bunch of video games, a bunch of first party games, a bunch of exclusive games. Hell, one is even exclusive to PC. And that's why I said the whole thing about people joking on the Horizon when I mentioned it on the previous podcast, like, oh yeah, it's not even going to be on PlayStation. Her. I'm like, yo, some games, when you have an actual ecosystem, ain't going to make it to all of them. Sadly, not yet, But so far, Age of Empires and all that came. So eventually, maybe, Aura will come. But it's like, yeah, like Sea of Thieves is going to be on phones and PC. Yeah, different games, different situations, different marketplaces. Like, sometimes I feel people really are in the bubble and they don't see how big the video game industry actually is. So taking your IP elsewhere. Why nobody joking, oh shit, haha, Mario Kart with all that crazy content is only on mobile? Why nobody joking, oh look, Doom is on mobile or something like that? Like, oh yeah, why they could port that game to Xbox? I'll play that on my Xbox. But it's only on mobile. Like, that's why I said that's a stupid thing to argue about, because this is why I say, when you be honest with yourself, you're never gonna look dumb when when things don't go the way of your narrative. So if you was joking on I'm just bringing this up just to show fairness where fairness is due, right? Like, if you're gonna joke on a Horizon, and then what the joke's about Aura, and nobody even doing that. They too busy wanting to hate on Indiana Jones. They mad at Indiana Jones, at Dr. Jones. Why? Let's talk about it not being not being third person, it's first person. What I say going in, it's Machine Games. What do? First person shooters. Why would I go in thinking that they're gonna do anything else other than what they do best, when they never stated in the press release or anything like that when they talked about the game? Remember when the trailer came out back then? This game wasn't just revealed today. It wasn't none of that. It was just Machine Games working on Indiana Jones, get hype. And it's like, cool. They do what they do. It's the perfect marriage based off Wolfenstein game to Indiana Jones. Oh, that it's perfect. And first thing I said back then was, oh yeah, you got to make the whip a very important part of it. Funny, the whip part is on right now, and you got to whip. People grab you, pull them at you, and then punch them in the face and stuff like that. That's nothing new. I've been saying that since when 2007, when Metroid Prime 3 was doing it. I was like, yeah, I can't wait for Prime 4. Like, I want more. I was talking about the Doom style. Oh, yeah, pull the character, with my damn grapple beam at me. Because you could pull the shields away in 3, in Prime 3. Oh, look, right there, Quake 6. But anyway, I was like, yeah, and put the cannon in their mouth and then just blow up and get all the goddamn blood, green blood and guts and everything, because the game got to be rated 10. Blood and guts all over Samus visor. That's what I want to see. I want to see Samus doing all that, even popping out into third person more. I was talking about that back then, and I've always talked about that. And all my faithful listeners of this show, they know, yeah, Red been saying that forever. So when this game did it, I'm like, awesome, right? My favorite Devil May Cry Bayonetta style game is Doom 2016 and Eternal. And you say, wait, those games ain't like that. They're exactly like that. Gate closes, waves of enemy in the room, you slaughter everything. You got all these different moves. They're called weapons, bullets, and actual, moves, whether you want to choose to freeze, blow them up with the other cannon on your shoulder, your little predator cannons you got on your shoulder, or you want to do, actual grab and quick time, like, those little damn glory kills, like that. I love that. So action adventure platformers have been great. Prime proved that is a thing. So when I saw them doing this, I'm like, yeah, this is exactly what I want. This is exactly what we need. This is exactly what we deserve. Like, all of a sudden now, everybody's like, yeah, I get motion sickness. Word? Y'all will get motion sickness now. What was the number one game in the MPD in December? Number one. It was Modern Warfare. And what do you think that mostly sold? Where does Call of Duty sell the most? That's right. PlayStation players. Number one game is the Xbox game Call of Duty, right? Facts. Number two was Mario Wonder. Amazing, right? Two of my favorite games of last year. Amazing. One is third person. No, it's not. It's 2D. That's right. Prince of Persia is third person, but that's 2D. They complain about 2D, but it's third person. You can see the character. But it's not the way I wanted it to be. Oh, everything got to be everything or nothing. I get it. Everything got to be Uncharted. Everything got to be Last of Us. Everything got to be like a PlayStation game over the shoulder Resident Evil 4. I get it. Everything got to be everything or nothing. All right. But clearly that's not true, right? Because the number one game in December was Call of Duty. Motion sickness didn't matter. Call of Duty. That's what they playing the most. Reality. Destiny. Reality. Like, stop it. Stop it. Always coming up with excuses. We know they're going to do this, though. To focus on that is nonsense. Like, we know, like I said, they're going to do this. They're going to hate on this game, whether it's third person like Uncharted or it's first person because, oh, there's going to be clouds that are going to compare it to Uncharted, even though Uncharted is this. This isn't copying Uncharted. If you make a proper Indiana Jones game, you know what game that is? Tomb Raider and Uncharted. And anybody with a brain will say that. Hey, look, third person right there when you're going down the zip line. But some people will complain, nah, but the whole thing should be, why? It don't gotta be. Or I feel like I'm more in the game when it's third person. I'm like, how detail gotta be crazy because the camera's up on everything. Look at the detail of everything. You know the narrative also, oh, this looks like a 360 game. This. Where you could see Harrison Ford right at the beginning. Let's go back. Right at the beginning. You see dirt on his fingers. And under the dirt on his finger, you could see the detail of, oh, and I wasn't even on that part. You could see the detail of his fingerprint. What? This game look like what? No, this game looks like a Machines game next gen. You know what I'm saying? Like this looks like a 360 game. Like you crazy. That one room, the amount of detail, that amount of detail you wasn't even gonna ever see on a PS4, like or on a Xbox One X. But you wanna know what's PS4 detail? Horizon 2. God of War, those are PS4 details. Those are PS4 games. Now you might say, oh, those games look better. Yo, all these games look gorgeous, right? I don't need to sit here and poke fun at any of these drop dead, the best looking games in the industry. To like, yo, look at this room right here. Stop right there. Look at this room. Look at it. Look at the amount of detail everywhere. Look at her in the room, looking like she's actually in the room, lived in, not like a little outline video game character. This looks insane. Beautiful. And it's going to be an action-packed romp adventure game. First person. We need more of those. I'm glad we're seeing all these great IP games, whether it's Spider-Man, whether it's a Hogwarts, whether it's the upcoming Ninja Turtle The Last Ronin game. I want that to, blow people's minds. Like, man, this is awesome looking. The amount of detail. You got to see the puzzle there. All in the world, because you're actually looking at the real world and figuring out that puzzle within the actual world in first person and everything. And swinging around, I mean, Doom did it with the, with the damn shit. That was basically like a scorpion chain. You know what I'm saying? And Samus does it again with her, beam. So, yeah, like grapple beam goes back a long time in shooters. You know what I mean? Like since the beginning of gaming, basically. This just all works perfectly. And I can't wait, to play this game. It's honestly one of my most anticipated games of the year right now. Like, I can't wait to play it because I think it's going to be crazy fun. I love first-person shooters. I ain't going to pretend not to. Like, if it's not literally one of the most popular genres of video games on Earth, now everybody all of a sudden got a problem with it because everybody only want the same thing over and over. But if it was Uncharted, they just wanted more ammunition. But since it looks different, since it looks like a Machine Games game, since it looks like an evolution of a Wolfenstein, something like that, they're like, damn, we can't get at it too much. Ugh. Like, they wanted to compare every little aspect of it to Uncharted. And it's like, bro, go hope for an Uncharted remaster because you ain't probably gonna get a new one. Nah, but look, in all reality, the hate for this game is just because of fanboy nonsense. You know that's gonna come. But some people take that and let it ruin their fun where they even can't say, this is the game I'm most hype about, all year. It's like, oh no, it looks good, it looks good. Like, bro, say it with your chest. You hype, you excited. Say it with your chest. They just put on a crazy ass show. Who else done put on the show? And again, I don't think people remember that Microsoft just did a show in November. Then the Game Awards, they showed out at the Game Awards, and now they did this show here. Not only that, they dropped in November Call of Duty, Forza, and in September they dropped Starfield, one of the biggest games of last year. Like, yo, it been nothing but video game releases from them. And people are like, yo, look, you just throwing their Call of Duty in there. Yeah, because I live in the real world. They own them. What you want me to do? Like, I've heard arguments like, yeah, you can't count Xbox money when, because what you're really doing is counting Activision, and you counting Bethesda. And without those, that's actually Xbox's money. No, Xbox's money is what they own, what they bought. What's Xbox? All of it. So that's all their money. It all goes into the same pot, right? Exactly. When their financials come out, it's going to all show there, right? Exactly. This is why when I see them taking like, the CEO's words and trying to mix them up, other than meaning what they already been doing. Like, yeah, now we on Activision. Listen to what I'm saying, but this is what he said. Yeah, now we on Activision. So now we could really be, a publisher, a big publisher in this game. They talking about Rockstar and Take-Two and stuff like that. They talking about EA. They talking about, yeah, because why? Because we got Diablo on PlayStation and across PC and, across all consoles. We got Call of Duty. We got Overwatch. You know what I'm saying? But we also got World of Warcraft, and we got Candy Crush. Like, this is what he's talking about. And people taking that to mean that they're going to be playing this. When this show ends and it literally tells you to your face. Nowhere does it say time exclusivity like all those Final Fantasy games that will be coming to Xbox. They clearly just say Game Pass, Series, PC, Steam, just to be clear. And they be like, but they didn't say not, so they got a right not coming to PlayStation and Nintendo now for these clowns. Like, are you serious? Are you serious? And people take these guys serious. Like, dude, you never gonna win with these people. You never gonna win with them. They always gonna move the goalposts. They always gonna act like Xbox because they hate Xbox. So their whole character is built around hating Xbox. Like, my disdain for PlayStation comes from how much they charge you for games, comes from the way they treated forwards compatibility, backwards compatibility, how they talk to their consumers, whether it was get a second job, or whether it was who wants to play those old games, or whether it was the PlayStation game is good playing with PlayStation gamers. We don't need to do crossplay. Whether it was we believe in generations, whether it was like, bro, like when you lie to your customers, like, why would I be a dummy rocking with them? Like, listen, you want to do that? Cool, because I want to play everything. Cool. I don't need to play everything. I'm actually realistic. In the real world, you ain't going to listen to every song. You're not going to visit every country. You're not going to see every movie. You know what I'm saying? And you're not going to play every video game. These dudes make literally a handful of video games, and dudes be bending their lives sideways to be like, yeah, these guys are the best. At what? At what? Like, exactly at what? Because the console ain't better. The games haven't been better. Even in third-person games. So we got Hellblade, Gears of War 6. You got the list of, Tower Born don't count, right? Because it's 2D. Again, it's 2D. That don't count. That's third person. Right there. You know what I'm saying? South of Midnight, third person. Right there. But then there's also Clockwork, and that's going to be first person. It's called variety. They also got RTS games. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's variety. It's what they do. What I said. When you look at Nintendo, you don't just go, oh yeah, everything is first person adventure. Like Metroid. No. We've been dying for one of those. But we got Splatoon right there. You know what I'm saying? Then you got something like F-Zero 99. But then you also got Mario Kart. Two completely different racing video games. You know? Then you could have 2D Mario, 3D Mario, 2D Zelda, like Link's Awakening and Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild. But you could also get a Hyrule Zelda, Warriors game. Like, variety, dude, is what makes first party actually great. Not everything fitting into this criteria that's mad expensive and unsustainable. I'm just going by, reality. So I just look and I go, they killing it. Like absolutely killing. This is what you want when you get a console. This is what you pray for. You want a lineup, a body of work. Like I said, we can mention Towerborn. You can mention 33 Mortals. You can mention Replaced. You can mention every single game that you know is confirmed from this show. And you look at it and go, damn, yo, it's a lot. And then the things that you don't know. And then I always say Game Pass is an exclusive in itself. Why? Because when you got Game Pass, you always got games coming. Resident Evil 2 just dropped right there. Oh, yeah, that's old. But what if the person didn't play it? Right at this very moment, they got something to play right now. But that's on top of new games. You know what I'm saying? Like Palworld, like new things. That's what it is. And it's not like these games, like Starfield just came out in September. Starfield's gonna get new content this year. Call of Duty just came out. What, next week we're getting brand new maps, brand new modes. These things are all free in this Call of Duty. That's the best part about it, that all the DLC is free. Great. You know what I'm saying? All the cosmetic bullshit isn't. But all the maps and stuff like that, free. Which that's the meat on the Call of Duty bone, you know what I'm saying? More than the cosmetic. So I'm like, yeah, those games are getting content all the time. Halo, they just talked about Halo 2, and I'll mention that right here. Like, they're moving on from the season thing, and they're gonna now, I forgot what they call it, but it's basically gonna be the same way like Master Chief Collection, where they're just gonna update the game when they update it with stuff, new things for Forge, for people to continue building and all that. And awesome. And they also announced that they're already building teams for the next Halo experiences. So we know new Halo things are happening. Great, because I love me some Halo single player more than anything. I love me some, Chief stories. So I look forward to playing those games. Great to know that it's more than one, too. That's confirmed right there. Again, we just saw the Quake 6 right there. There's so many games. Like this year, we're going to see Perfect Dark more than likely. We're going to see that this year. I don't even know if they'll bother to show Fable again, because they could easily just say, we could just save that for January, develop a direct. We don't even got to bother showing it right now. We could just Indiana Jones it. Like crazy. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, there's so much to play. It's so crazy. And this is what everybody always claimed that they wanted from Xbox, right? Now what's happening, you're seeing all assault from everyone, from casuals, from the media, the paid for and sponsored by, I don't know, your favorite fanboy hearts. The media, man. They just can't even hide it. It's so good. Because I knew that this would be like this. This is what, I was always preaching and talking about. We're going to get to this wave where it's just going to be salt all the time. Mad, bitter, jadedness. Can't hide their colors. That they just want to play the thing on their PlayStation. Why do I got to play it on my Xbox? Because it's better. That's why. Get out of here, man. With all the nonsense. Like, it's crazy how they all show their asses so many times. They lie. See, this is the thing. It's like, yo, why you don't be rocking with places? It's like, yo, because the fan base be liars. They just move the goalposts. Like, I saw them say the Wii remote was whack, then the move was fire. I see them do this all the time, ad nauseum. And then the company does that shit. They'll tell you, oh, yeah, we believe in exclusives. This is an exclusive. Starfield was an exclusive. Forza was an exclusive. They got exclusive games coming out all the time. You know what I'm saying? That's what they claimed that they was going to do on the other side. And yet, they've been lacking. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I say, don't sit there and when you riding with a company who's just going to switch tones and just lie to you, nah, that ain't it. That ain't it at all. But let's switch over now to Avowed. They started with Avowed, right? Yeah, it started with Avowed. All right, so we're going to kick this off. Here we go. So Avowed. I don't even play games of this genre like that. But when I see these different biomes, these different worlds, different magic and stuff like that, I think that's awesome. That's great. When I see visuals that look this incredible in this style of game, in this genre, right? I go, wow, that's incredible. Like, character models are great. The fact that they have actual fun gameplay and that I don't got to go into the menus in order to pick different loadouts. I could just have them. I think they mentioned it being all tied to the D-pad, right? So I could just switch on the fly to what my favorite things are and immediately just be attacking different enemies, almost kind of like Doom, right? She's gonna be fast RPG goodness. That actually brings me in, you know. And then again, I saw, and of course, because you can't miss it. So I just wanted to bring it up. Like, you know, I've seen people like taking little parts of this and just gifting it, and then being like, "Oh, look at the animations of these games." Like, if you look at any of these games going back through history, they've never had the greatest animations. But this is good stuff, and this looks beautiful. Like this bear swinging, cool. Does it look a little bit stiff? Again, go look at how these games are. Usually that be the way they be a bit, right? So people will take this part right here. I think this was one of them when the player is actually using the wand. You're gonna see it right here, right? All right, the next shot with all the enemies coming, and you see them like, oh yeah, like you know, like they just stop and they try. I'm like, yeah, because you shooting ice at them. It's literally little icicles you looking at. Like, go watch that in 4K. You know, blown up on your screen. If you know, I mean, I would assume you have a big 4K TV. Because most of the guys were saying this are the PlayStation guys who have the best everything, the best PCs, the best everything, right? So, and you see the icicles spinning. You see whatever magic you have spinning around your actual wand. So as you freezing them and they getting hit and they dying. So yeah, you stunning them a bit. When you got 5 enemies running at you, if none of them was stopping, if you get hit, then you would be complaining over that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at it for what it actually is, and I'm saying it looks fun. It looks, you know, like something that the gameplay is interesting instead of just hack and slash. You can mix it up. Like right here, you got hacking and slashing. Right here, you freezing this guy. You doing some whole magic damn spell on them. Like there's variety there. So I'm like, yeah, that can actually grab people who probably not into the genre. You got your companion right there, the blue guy who we saw during the showcase, you know, last summer. So yeah, I looked at this and I'm like, yeah, the visuals. People are like, yeah, the visuals don't look all that. It because it doesn't look like everything else. Look at like you could zoom in on anything here. The background, the textures, the walls, the rocks. Everything looks good. Everything got nice details and the character models look, you know, full, dense, and all that. Like again, I'm just like, yo, they just want to be picky all the time, picky all the time. These tents and everything look great. The world is huge. Like the fact that it's gonna be a variety of worlds too. That's something that was one of my biggest complaints with Halo Infinite, right? Because I loved Halo Infinite what it was, but I wish that there was variety in location and not everything just be grasslands. This is basically like that. A bunch of different, you know, open areas, but different locations with different variety, which is awesome. So yeah, this to me, I'm like, yeah, this looks good. This looks good. And for people who love this genre, I would go as far as to say this looks phenomenal. You know, you should be crazy excited for this. Why wouldn't you be? You know what I'm saying? And it's coming right into Game Pass too. You know, you could get it and play it on the Beast PC and have it looking, you know, exactly this quality, probably running at crazy frame rates. You know, if you got it. If you got it. Look at the texture on the braids, the forehead. You got the little marks on the head and everything. Like, what? This looks insane. Her hair, you know, crazy good looking character model. I'm like, what are y'all talking about right now? What are y'all talking about? Like, they are doing such, you know, good work with this game. And from when they showed it to now and it being already ready to go, that turnaround time I said is quick with them. Like, they're not playing at all. And aren't they also developing at the same time Outer Worlds 2? That's confirmed, right? And they made also Pentiment, right? So that's crazy. Like they just been dropping games consistently for Xbox. And funny, you don't see them getting all the praise, and it's not just Spider-Man, 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 because Insomniac been getting that praise. I mean, they made also Ratchet, and it's like they get mad like Obsidian deserves some props because they just also did Outer Worlds. Like that's a new IP, freshly new IP. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. And again, you gotta actually look at everything for what it is. And I'm just being fair and saying, yeah, they actually have a good turnaround time over there too, similar to Insomniac. So props to them. So the same way Insomniac dropped game after game after game, they doing the same thing. The same thing. It's pretty damn good. So let's talk now about, yes indeed, you see it right there, Senua. Let's go back. Here we go. So Senua. The game is gonna be $50. Amazing. $50 price. The game's, they mentioned it right here. It's gonna be the same size as the original game. I expected this to be, like the original game, not some giant open world 50-hour experience. And it's gonna be $50. That's a nice price. Right now they selling the first game on Xbox for $3. You could go get that right now. And on Steam, I think it's also like $4. So you could go get that right now. You got no excuse to play this game. And I remember Epic gave this game away for free, if I'm not mistaken, like a few years back. This game looks incredibly stunning. $50 for it. It's gonna be digital, just like Hi-Fi Rush, digital only. Yeah, I saw something about Walmart not carrying no more Xbox physical games and Starfield getting removed, stuff like that. I mean, obviously, Best Buy getting rid of their physical media and stuff like that. So yeah, it's crazy. It's happening. It's happening. But I'm not gonna go kicking and screaming because I'm all digital on Xbox. I've been that way, and it is what it is. I'm also all digital, where? On PC. And I don't complain about that. I don't got no disc on PC, never have, never will. So it's all good. I'm physical on Switch because the games are really physical on Switch. And it's not like, oh yeah, I'm just buying a key in order to get in, like on PlayStation 5 and on Xbox for the most part, right, with these games. So yeah, on Xbox being digital, it's just great. It's just good. You got Game Pass there. You own the game. If it's on Game Pass, you could play it on the cloud. That's awesome. Eventually, you're gonna be able to play your games that you own also on the cloud. And yeah, like I look at this and I go, cool, awesome. I saw, of course, complaining. People trying to belittle this game. Oh yeah, it's a walking simulator. It's a da 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 da. Everything they clown on. Everything they clown on. Now, granted, the first thing I did, the first time I played Hellblade 1, I only played a little bit of it. And it was the first puzzle section where you had to line up the thing with the trees, with the branches. And I was like, this is just like a better version of the worst parts of Metroid Dread when they would just stop. Not Metroid Dread, you heard me? They ain't no worst part of Metroid Dread. That's 10 out of 10 goodness. Of Metroid Other M, where it would just stop you and you would just be walking and just be like, why are you doing this to me? Like, why? What is the purpose of this? Am I supposed to be on and eyeing? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I want to play whatever. Like, let's go. So I held it off. I always knew I was gonna go back, but I held it off. I was like, I wasn't feeling it like that. But when I went back, played it, Dolby Atmos, headphones, and all that, and I said, all right, let me keep going. I actually restarted, played the whole portion again, and just went through the whole game, basically in the span of 2 days. It was 1 week, and I played the game, and I loved it. It was mad fun. It became more focused on the gameplay, on the action. I liked the story and all the, just all the way it just took you in all these different directions and pulled you in. I like how they mixed live action in the original with the gameplay. It was really cool. I was like, all right, this was a cool experience. It really was that, an experience. And this is setting out to do that again. And you're going to have the actual giants that you're going to be fighting, which we saw previously. There's going to be a lot in this game. But to complain about this game being digital only, fine. I know there's going to be people going to complain into the night, howling like a wolf at the moon, and then turning old in the morning, howling at the clouds like the old man yelling at the sky. I understand that's going to be the case. Fine. Ain't nothing you could do about that. It's 2024. Again, what year is it? Because since it's been over 10 years, right? Where it's like you basically can't get anything really physical on PC anymore. It's been years already of us being able to buy full games on Xbox. Xbox did great with forward compatibility, backwards compatibility, auto HDR, or, FPS boost and all that. They did great. And then with their first party games, buy it once, own it, with smart delivery on PC and on the console, buying digitally feels great to me. You spend $50 on this game on Xbox, you also own it on PC. You got it forever. You good. You know what I'm saying? Like, you good. Look how this game looks. Stunning. $50. They could have easily just done it and be like, yeah, it's going to be $70. But they didn't do that. It's funny how people kicking and screaming more about a game being $50 than they did about games going up to $70 with no Game Pass alternative for them. Just being clear. Because you can say, oh yeah, games are $70 on Xbox. Yeah, we don't feel that over here. Because we playing these things on Game Pass. And if we buying them, we getting them on a discount anyway. That's just the Xbox way. That's just the Game Pass way. It's just W's all day. So I can't complain about none of that. What we actually saw here, let me go back a bit. Let me go back a bit to some fighting action. What we actually saw here, this right here looks like nothing you've seen out there. Visually, lighting. I understand why Insomniac is like, yeah, we want to push for that with Wolverine. Hell yeah. That's what you want to push for with Wolverine. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want it to look the best, right? I mean, that is what Sony's known for with their first party games. They look so good. So of course they're going to go and look at, well, what's the creme de la creme right now that we can actually point to and say, don't nothing look like that shit right there. This. Hellblade 2. Hellblade 2. May 21st. $50 on Game Pass. Feel free to do whatever you want to do. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to own this game. Do I got to own it day one? No, but can I play it? Yes. People are renting games. I'm like, I don't know what the is. It's like, it's crazy. Like, this complex, like, there's this complex that PlayStation guys got where they feel like, yeah, we're the first class citizens. And they act like they rich and balling. And maybe some of y'all are. But I know most of y'all not. Because that's just the world we live in. And everybody can be rich. So, what are you ha-haing about? You know what I'm saying? Breaking into the bank and spending money you don't need to spend? Why would I be mad that $1 trillion, the richest corporation in the world, gives me the cheapest access to the greatest amount of games, new video games, but also gives you the opportunity to buy them? It's not a Golden Sun situation where you could go back and play the Gears of War games on Game Pass, but you can't own them. Nah, they're not doing that. They're not doing that. You know? This is not a situation like Foam Stars where, well, when the game is done, it's done. There's no single player there. There's nothing there. The game is gone. You know, sad. I don't like to see that. But that's the reality. You know what I mean? Like, I've heard it all. You know? And last year was embarrassing with the Activision stuff and with the Starfield stuff. And it seems like this is just going to be the way it's going to be. When they cried about Tomb Raider, they still the same guys today. All these years later, they just can't accept Xbox having games. They claim they want the Xbox to do better during the Xbox One generation when they was down and out. Xbox didn't only do better, they bought the whole goddamn thing. All of it. All right, what's your number one? That's ours. You sell consoles to make Xbox richer. To make Xbox player experience better. That's good. They won. That's why they go to the Game Awards. They actually win awards over there. They put on shows like this. They don't hide from doing shows. They consistently delivering the most shows. What was my prediction in my Xbox and Nintendo 2024 prediction? What was my prediction? My prediction was Xbox was going to put on the most shows. So far, it's been like that. It's crazy. You know? And the fun part is it's not just putting on shows and it'd be like nothing to, play. It's like, nah, we got plenty to play. Right now, literally, Prince of Persia, that Palworld are the two most talked about games on the planet. Both of them can be experienced on Xbox. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? What are you waiting for? That's what I'm asking. What are you waiting for? Oh yeah, right there also in that last shot, someone zoomed in. Oops, someone zoomed in and noticed that there was a photo mode in the game, which a game this stunning, it should have a photo mode. The original had a photo mode, so that's good. That gives the game replayability in the sense of people who love to do photo modes in video games and spend time with their games. Look around now. I love photo modes, especially when Miiverse was a thing. I was always taking pictures, and I still capture gameplay, obviously, but yeah, I love capturing cool photos and Forza and stuff like that. I hope Indiana Jones got a photo mode that pops out and lets you see him in third person just to make people mad. Like, why can't I play it like this? Like, listen, if the choice was there, I wouldn't care. But the fact that they act like a developer needs to fold and only make games one way, that could be the worst thing for the video game industry. Blade is going to be third person. Blade should be third person. Why? Because I want to see Blade, grabbing characters and throwing them into walls, kicking dudes from one side while stabbing another one with a knife. All that cool shit, all that Blade stuff. I want that. Remember Blade 2, the opening? When he was fighting the two ninjas when they snuck into the lair? And it was all wild and crazy CGI characters. I want that in the game. That's what I want. The last fight in Blade when he was fighting with the sword and catching his glasses, that's what I want. I want that exactly. But just to be clear, this dude, let me go to Indiana Jones since I'm talking about Indiana Jones again. Just to be clear, Indiana Jones wasn't like you could have made the game where he's just ducking and everything behind cover, everything, just Uncharted, and oh yeah, little scratches on the wall, climb that, climb that, climb that, climb that, climb that. But in the action movies, he don't do that much. So it's not like by them not doing that, they're gonna miss capturing the essence of Indiana Jones. You got this dude swinging off blimps for crying out loud, jumping from helicopter to helicopter, swinging across old, damn things breaking down and all kinds of stuff. A lot of traversal stuff, climbing up walls and pipes and all kinds of stuff. He's doing everything, literally everything, zip lining, all of it. But it still perfectly works because that's him. Blade, on the other hand, yeah, Blade needs to do all that stuff, and you need to see him do all that cool stuff. If Blade was just first person, you just saw sword slashing side to side and a gun shooting, it would be whack. Because you're like, Blade should be moving, jumping across buildings, running around whatever city he's in. He should be moving crazy. It's Blade, the Daywalker. So that's what I expect from Blade. And I think that's what most people would expect from Blade. Right? So I look at it like some games should be third person, some should be first person. I don't want a first person Mario. I like my third person Mario. I really do. And the way they mix in listen, I'm just happy that more first person games are doing this because this is what I've always dreamt of. Like before games were actually even doing this, before there was one that did it. I was saying, I need. Well, that's not true because Riddick did it. Riddick actually, which this is not. Well, yeah, they did it. Riddick had melee combat and stuff like that. But I really want Metroid Prime 4 to do things that like the bash attack that you have in Dread. I would love that in Metroid Prime 4, especially the stun enemies and then do a quick third person animation kill, or even keep it in first person like the glory kills in Doom. I just want that. I've wanted that for years, and now all these shooters are doing that, so I'm happy about it. Like, good. Hopefully, Retro will do that, but they'll add their own twist to it, and they could because it's Samus. Imagine pulling the enemy at you and then turning into a morph ball and literally boosting into them while like putting a bomb on them and then bouncing away and just blues. Like, there's so many crazy moves that they could make Samus do. Like, oh yeah, I took an enemy with the grapple beam, literally wound them up, threw them into the air, and jumped and screw attack in there and ripped them in half and pull it off in team. You could do that. Absolutely, you could. Just make them splash into green, purple, orange. Not even orange. That's too close to red. But green, purple, blue, blood. Yeah, that works. That works. That works. Look, they actually scanned this dude's suit from the original flicks They actually scanned the suits. That was this madman, right? Scan the suits. He said, "Now we could look at them and put them in." No, 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 no. Bring me the actual clothing. I will scan it. That will be the texture. So when you're looking at the actual textures in this game, it's the actual texture. Like that's his actual leather jacket that Harrison Ford wore. Shout out to the developers. Y'all madmen, women, y'all crazy. Y'all crazy. Cause I mean, who would have thought like, yeah, go get me the clothes? But they doing it. Even Hellblade, right? You saw the real clothes there. They scanning it. That's the new thing. So I guess Gears of War, they might as well just make the suits for the shows already and then scan it into the game. At this point, it's crazy. Yeah. So now, let's see. I'm gonna switch up a bit from showing these same clips over and over. Now, I'm gonna stop this. Bam. Let's do this right here. Let's do this. Sea of Stars, a game that I've been loving, a game that I would have never played and given a chance to if it wasn't on Game Pass. Why? Because I'm not an RPG guy like that. But what I can tell you is every single year it feels like every single year that I've had Game Pass, I find myself playing an RPG, even being RPGs. Like that's crazy. Game Pass will do that to you, and that's why I laugh when people try to hate on Game Pass and having a pool of games. Oh yeah, I'm not interested in these games. Try shit. Try shit. Like you don't like. I don't understand people. So what you do with the services you have? Do you only watch shows that people deem popular? Because I go on Netflix, I be pressing play on everything. I go on Amazon Prime, I be like, oh word, y'all got a deal on this subscription service, $2 for 3 months. Cool. Right now I'm watching Domino on MGM Plus, and I'm watching Beacon. What is it? Beacon. I don't even know the name of the damn show. Beacon 13 or some shit like that. I don't know. But it's with Lena Headey, who played Sarah Connor in, the great Terminator show. So yeah, I'm watching that show right now. Just like, yeah, why not? I'm just gonna watch that. Bam. Like I just watch it all the time. Like I just watched that crazy ass movie that actually I just watched. It was there. I don't even know the name of this damn movie. On God, I do not know the name of this movie. I wish I did, and I don't. But it's on Hulu and it's brand new, and it stars Anna Kendrick. Well, she's not the star, but she's co-star in it. And so just go to new movies, you'll see Anna Kendrick there, and the dude who, if I'm not mistaken, plays Spider-Man in Into the Spider-Verse. But yeah, I just pressed play on that movie. You find that movie mad funny, enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? Like crazy. I thought it was mad good out of nowhere. And it was like, yeah, I didn't see no trailer for that. I just saw it there. All right, bam, press play. This is what I do with movies, with shows and stuff like that. So why can't I do that with the medium I love in video games? Like, why wouldn't I do that? That's why I'd be questioning, like, yo, dudes be really out here hating so much on Xbox that they would skip out on enjoying the medium that they claim to love. Like it's crazy. Oh yeah, I don't see really nothing there on Game Pass. Trust me, I promise you. If you don't see it, you'll feel it. Try. You download something, you play. Hell, you don't even got to download it. You could just stream it and try the stuff and say, okay, yeah, I'm feeling this right here. Let me download this one. Oh yeah, I'm feeling that right there. Let me download. That's what I did with Sea of Stars, actually. You know what I'm saying? That's why you seeing recording from here, because everything I played up to here, because this is still fairly the beginning of the game. I'm way past this, but everything you see up to here, I played through the cloud, and I realized, I'm like, bro, you've been playing this shit for like 2 hours. I think it was something like that. For like an hour or two, I'm already into the game. I was like, just download this shit, like, and actually play it the way it properly, looked. So that's what I did, and yeah, been playing it ever since, and it's awesome. And it's like, well, I stopped now because I'm playing Prince of Persia, but yeah, it's a great game, and that's what I do. It's like, yo, I try different games all the time. I got games queued up that it's like, yeah, at some point I'm gonna get to them. You got to use the word "some point" because it's just too many goddamn video games, too many goddamn games. I mean, everywhere. There's just too many video games. I'm just gonna say that. When I say everywhere, I mean for me right now, I got games to play on the N and on the X. I got plenty of games to play. So yeah, what do I want to talk about now? I talked about Halo. So yeah, Palworld. I will. I wanted to talk about this just to say I seen some Pokemon fans salty about the game, mad at it. Like, listen, I don't love how this game looks like. Oh yeah, like a blatant rip off thing. Like when you look at it, obviously, I know the game is different. I don't really have interest in the game because I don't really like building in games. I see like there's a whole lot of building in this game and stuff like that. You ask me how many matches did you play of Fortnite Lego? Zero. That's the answer. Zero. Zero. I do not like building aspect in games at all. You know what I'm saying? And even Tears of the Kingdom won't change my mind on that. You know what I'm saying? So I see, like, I could see that, comparison, like, oh yeah, because it looks like, oh yeah, it's getting a lot of buzz just because it looks like Pokemon, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Digimon did it before. There's been other things. This is nothing new. There's always going to be competitors to things that are super popular. It is what it is. And I look at this and I say, if this game, which, by the way, came out yesterday, literally came out yesterday, got 2 million players right now. 2 million people bought the game. That's not counting Game Pass. Because the Game Pass shit is a different thing. I think it's only like 4 players there. On PC, it's more open right now. It's 32 or 30 something players. This is early access thing. So right now, it's gonna, on consoles it'll grow like the PC one later, more than likely. It's always like that. So on PC it already had at one time 800,000 people playing at one time, which is crazy. That's an insane number, and yeah, it's doing numbers. Good for it. And people like being mad at it. Like, this doesn't hurt Pokemon. I hope y'all know that. Like, Pokemon gonna come out and still do what it do. Like, Nintendo, I mean, if they wanted to, like, be mad about this, is like, cool, they could be mad about it, but the reality is they probably not even thinking about it. They doing their own thing, especially Game Freak. They don't care. Like, if you think, oh, this is gonna light a fire under their ass, I wish it would. I wish the success of this would make them go and say, okay, yeah, we got to do the online thing that's online, Pokemon, bunch of people playing in the world together, actually give the game a budget and actually good graphics, because the graphics that they currently have are unacceptable. They're literally dog shit by any visual standards. Anybody saying otherwise, opinions, bullshit. That game looks bad for Switch. That game just looks bad for the biggest goddamn video game IP on the planet. One of them, top 5. You know what I'm saying? And we both know it's top 3. Like, well, we both know. We all know. So yeah, come on now. Like, that's crazy, man. It's crazy. They really could do way better, and they be resting on their laurels because they gonna get the sales either way, And yeah, so if this lights a fire under their ass, good, because they need to. Pokemon, everybody ain't wrong. The customer's not always, oh yeah, we know better than the customers. No, I think you always got to try to surprise your customers, but they're not always wrong. You're wrong if you say, oh yeah, Indiana Jones needed to be third person. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. But the person saying, yeah, Pokemon should be open, like, that's what Pokemon is. The cartoon is that. It is. It's open world Pokemon trainings all over the world, but the games never actually have done what people have been saying. Do it. World of Warcraft, Pokemon. That's been the thing from the beginning, because World of Warcraft was the thing out there that was the easiest thing to compare it to. But now there's Fortnite, there's this, there's that, there's 1,000 games. Like, you understand that they could easily make Fortnite for Pokemon. And it's like, yeah, you play the mainline Pokemon games. We still make those. And then you create loadouts with your Pokemon that you train. You got to train them. You don't train them. You can pick Pokemon in the Fortnite experience. That's a whole different thing. And you bring your games over, transfer them Pokedex style, and you run out there, you pick a thing, and there's 100 people, battle royal you, Pokemon battles, last man standing wins. How long does this thing go? Long. You could leave whenever, just play a couple matches, or you could stay to the end. They could even do it like that, like a curated thing. It's like, yeah, you got the mainline game, you bring your Pokemons in here, or whatever. And if you don't have the mainline Pokemon games, you can get Pokemon and literally purchase, because you got to buy the other game, right, to get Pokemon anyway. So you got to purchase your Pokemon on the storefront, and you could play, and they'll evolve that way. There's a million different things that they could do. And they literally feels like, yo, I don't want to say they try none, but it's like I didn't hear one person talk about playing Pokemon online with those last two games. Even though when they promoted it was, oh, it's gonna be online, open world. I was like, cool, this could be potentially cool, but then it's like, looks like shit, but it could be cool. And Pokemon has a great art direction. That's what makes me mad. It's like the art direction there. It's just the game looks ugly. Textures are cheap. It just looks bad, awful. So what are you doing when the art style is this good? When Pokemon concept artists, actual artists, all of that, you know what I mean? Are some of the most talented. They literally have the most successful anime probably of all time, running the longest and all that. Like, and this is what y'all putting out in this medium. Come on. And then people will get mad at you for this, for speaking facts. Like, nah, we gonna keep it 1,000, 1,000,000,000,000 when it comes to how mediocre it is, and that's it. And until they switch it, I'm not changing my tone. Whenever I see a Pokemon game, the shit look ass, I'm gonna just say shit look ass, and I'm gonna move on. Not gonna speak on it. Not gonna talk about it because the shit is embarrassing. That's it. Point blank. I don't care what it sells because at the end of the day, sales ain't everything. Don't believe me? What do I be talking about? These PlayStation do? Sales ain't everything, bro. Sales ain't everything. Wii U lineup. Oh yeah, sales ain't like what? I love that lineup of games. Sales ain't everything. That's it. So anyway, let's talk about Nintendo in the positive light. So 8% of developers, and this was from a GDC, survey. So a bunch of developers, talked about what they're working on. Like it was like 35% are making PlayStation games, 34% are making Xbox Series games, but then you had, I think it was like 18. I think it was 18. I got it right here. Hold up. I think it was 18%. All right, here we go. Here we go. Today, man, today. Why you not loading? Well, anyway, it was like 18% making games on Xbox One, and I think like 15 on, PS4. And I said the reason for that is because when you make a game on Xbox One, that's still a series game. It goes in the same storefront, everything like. So I think that's why that number is a little bit higher. That's just what I wanted to mention. But yeah, 8% making games on Nintendo's next hardware. So that rounded out, going Nintendo basically says like 200 developers or something like that. And I'm like, awesome. That makes perfect sense because the thing is coming out this year. You got to have developers making games for it. I'm happy not much has leaked. Yeah, and this is assuming it comes out this year, right? Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully. Because Peach and Peach Imports ain't gonna cut it, man. Peach Imports ain't gonna cut it at all. But anyway, the other statistic I wanted to talk about was Nintendo in actual Japan sweeping for the 19th year in a row. You heard me right. For almost 20 years in Japan, Nintendo has always been the dominant one in the charts for the full year. So this year they actually had the whole thing online. I'm gonna tell you the list right now. All right, so you had Zelda at number one. Number two was Mario Brothers Wonder. Number three was Pikmin 4. Number four was Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the game that I was just talking so nice about. Number five was Momotaro Dentetsu World. Number six, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Number seven, Kirby Returns to Dreamland Deluxe. Number eight, Dragon Quest Monsters 3, The Dark Prince. Number nine, Splatoon 3. And number 10, Super Mario RPG. So yeah, Nintendo, doing what they do in Japan. And I saw for December on the MPD they were number 2 actually. Xbox 3, PlayStation 1. You know how that goes. The same old, same old. But yeah, like with the developers, there's not much to say on that other than good to know that we have confirmation that there is that many developers working on the next console. Cool. You know that always speeds up once it's revealed, and then everybody gets development kits. They're not just gonna be giving development kits to everybody, And a lot of these games, you also got to consider are games that I guess you can say are being made for PC with the intention that when the Nintendo thing gets revealed, we're ready to port this thing to that 100%. Like it's in our funds, it's in our plan, it's in the initiative of this piece of software. So of course they can make the list. Like I could see that being a thing, but yeah, not much to go all crazy about yet, man. Again, that's why I say I feel more than ever like Nintendo's next show gotta be the one. Like don't even bother doing nothing else. I'm not saying even if you got stuff coming for the Switch, just announce those shits and and tweets or trailers on your YouTube channel. Your next show should definitely be next generation talk. I feel. And I know I said that in the last one, but it's what I feel. It's what I think should happen. So let me go through some uh Patreon questions and then I'm gonna wrap this thing up. And yeah, shout out to everybody who tuned in to the podcast live. And shout out to y'all who watched all the way up till now on the replay on YouTube. So the first question comes from Wolves Den. He says, what is your favorite piece of Nintendo clothing you own? I actually don't own any Nintendo clothing. Unless you count my Cappy hat. Right now, I don't. Like back then, I had a lot of shirts and stuff like that, but I don't right now. What I do have Nintendo, I guess you could count as clothing because I wear it on me. I got a bunch of different things on my keychain that are, like I got my Splatoon squids that my daughter gave me on my keychain. So that's always with me, the little inklings. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But thanks for the question. I got to step up my video game merch up again. It's not because I didn't want to. It's just I didn't have them. And a lot of the old shirts I had, not grew out of them. They just too big now for me. You know what I'm saying? That was when I was, way bigger, muscular wise, and just body fat wise. So yeah, those shirts don't really fit like that no more. And then the others just, faded away because I wore them too long. So yeah, Jack Jam Jim asks, do people understand that the Switch successor DLSS is essentially 1080p to 4K upscaling tech and that games wouldn't actually be true 4K gaming, but upscaling to 4K? So when they make videos stating that the next game would be 4K gaming, it would be wrong. Do they actually know what they're talking about? I think they still just they just happy that they'll get the output to 4K, which is like, yeah, if it's gonna be 1080p, I want the DLSS, over none, But I think let's not say it'll be 4K, and not that the games are gonna be real. I'm just saying like you'll be able to watch like if there's apps on it, 4K stuff with HDR and things like that on the app, like you would on your PlayStation or Xbox apps. Like it'll be a 4K ready thing. I say that, but again, this is Nintendo who really didn't put much apps out. This is the same Nintendo who didn't put out any themes, even though they made the best themes any console ever seen with the actual 3DS ones. Because trust me, I had themes on PlayStation 3. I had themes on current Xbox, which by the way, there's a new Cyberpunk theme up there, but and it's nice. And I had themes on 360. The 3DS ones were the best. The sound changing, the every click sound changing, music playing. When you open your thing, the Zelda one, fire. Like untouchable. And then what they did with this console, black and white. That's it. No more. We all thought, oh yeah, summer come, and I'll be like, well, I'm not gonna. I said it from the beginning. I ain't gonna expect nothing because knowing none of these will be the only ones we get this generation. Listen, everything I said about Nintendo that rubbed Nintendo fans the wrong way, all of it came true. Yeah, they accepted all of it. That's fine, and I knew you would. I was just saying, this is what's gonna happen. Y'all gonna accept it, and this is why it's gonna be worse off. Why y'all talking shit about Game Pass? They're gonna be the actual ones who's gonna take on the ship away from you first, and y'all ain't gonna say shit about it. That's exactly what happened. It's exactly what's happening, and yeah, it is what it is. So that's why it's like, yeah, I don't feel bad when I say the shit I say, because the shit I say isn't really wrong. It's actually factual actuals, and that rubs people the wrong way, the wrong way. But yeah, when it comes to the whole PS4 thing, I talked about it a little bit on the live reaction to the Xbox Developer Direct. I had to throw a little bit of Nintendo talk in there. It's the NXbox podcast. Come on now. So I'll just say it here, like, they have a deal with Nvidia. Nvidia makes chips. A lot of the chips that they made, like the Switch one, from what I'm understanding, was used for their shields and their stuff like that. The things that they made out there that, from again what I understand, aren't lighting the world on fire like a Switch was. A Switch has sold over 130 million, right? They got a 20-year deal. This time, the chip could have been made from the beginning for exclusively Nintendo. So the reason I say the whole thing about 20-year deal is because the last console sold 130 and change. So yes, we can make a chip just for these guys, and it'll be 100% worth it for us. And it already makes business sense because we already got this deal in place. So I look at it and say, any talk about what the console level is going to be power wise, I don't really care, because I don't think none of it is going to matter. Because I think I'm just going to go off what I feel is going to happen. And what I feel is going to happen is that Nintendo went to Nvidia and said, give us a chip that lets us play well with what current generation is doing. Now, we're not going to do it like a Xbox Series X could do it, or like your high-end PC will do it. But we want to do it really, really well. Really, really good. We don't want to miss out on Monster Hunter Wilds. We don't want to miss out on Street Fighter 6. We don't want to miss out on anything. We want to have everything potentially come to the console. Even something like a Palworld. Oh my God. But nah, in reality, like, so that's what they probably working towards, that kind of chip. I think Nintendo saw the support that they got, and they said, we don't need to tailor our hardware only for us. And I think the Switch was part of that already, of not trying to make hardware that was only tailored for them, but for everyone. They considered the industry. Let's say that. And I think that they'll continue to do that. I believe that 100%. I want that to be the case. I would be disappointed if it wasn't the case. Just saying. So, yeah, that's my thought on power levels. I ain't worried about it. And when it comes to Nintendo, like, I look at something like Metroid Dread, and I'm like, this shit is stunningly beautiful. And I mentioned that because it's the last game I was playing. I look at something like Prince of Persia. I think it's stunningly beautiful, and that's on the Series X. And I know it's not Indiana Jones, it's not Hellblade, but I think all those games are beautiful in their own right. So yeah, I ain't too worried about it. And that's going to do it for this edition of an Xbox podcast. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. Thanks to you guys who sent in questions, man. Send in more questions. Feel free to send in more and more questions. Let me see the chat real quick. See if anybody posted anything. Any other questions? Nah. So yeah, we're gonna leave it at that basically. This is the boss battle right here, right? Yeah. This is actually awesome. I should let this boss battle rock right here. This boss battle's crazy. But now you'll see it in the next stream next time I show the game off. But yeah, that's it. That's gonna do it. Until the next one. Peace.